Hello, hello, hello. Oh gosh, no, no. I've got an itchy nose. Does that mean that I am going to be vexed? Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. It is the 30th of May. We are still, yes, we are. We're not giving up. We're still celebrating two things this month because we've been celebrating every single day. We are celebrating the 25th anniversary of the first publication of The Eagle and the Rose, the New York Times best-selling book, which is amazing. It's a lovely book. I love that book. Anyway, it happens to be my first one. So we're celebrating that. Also, we are still celebrating, if I'm going to have a birthday, why not have a long celebration? So we're celebrating the whole month for that too. So before we go any further, first of all, I'd like to say good morning to my spirit guide, Grievel, who is standing to my right side, and my daddy is pushing in here. I'd also like to say good morning to my daddy, who is chuckling. He's standing to my left side, peering over my shoulder, telling me that everything's looking good. And of course, I have my brother. I say of course, but he's only just started popping in to say hello to me, and he's standing right in front of me. So we've got a little crowd of people in this kitchen. I'm suspecting that we have one or two other people in the spirit world as well with us, which is great. Now, what am I making for you in Rosemary Altea's kitchen today? Well, I thought we'd start because it is Bank Holiday Monday in England, which means they're celebrating. I can't remember what it is anyway, but it's a bank holiday. And it happens to coincide with the US Memorial Day, which is, they're doing a lot of celebrating, a lot of marching, a lot of organising, a lot of stuff going on for Memorial Day tomorrow. And I thought, okay, who wants to cook on a holiday? Who really wants to bother with that? Also, it is traditionally a weekend where people have barbecues, or they chill out, or they hang out, and they make stuff that's really easy. So I thought, why not have a no cooking show with Rosemary? So here we go. All right, we're going to start off with potted beef. Potted beef, stewing meat. 1 pound of stewing meat. Now, I cook mine in my little crock pot. This stewing meat, this pound of stewing meat has been cooking for several hours. I put it on high for about 3 hours and then turn it low, and then I turn it off, let it cool, and put it in the fridge. Into the stewing meat, I put 1/8 of a spoon of mixed spice, 1/8 of a spoon of mace. Mace is the outside of nutmeg, if anybody wants. It's the grated shell of the nutmeg. And 1/8 of a teaspoon of cloves. And I sort of put all of those into the water, pour it all over the meat, and just leave it in there. I also put in about 1/2 to a teaspoon of salt, depending. It may need more salt. So anyway, here it is, and it's all cooked. So let me put these away. Okay. You know the rule in my house. The rule is, once I've done with an ingredient and I don't need it anymore, put it away. Okay, so now in here, this is my trusty Breville. I love this. This is one of my favourite things in my kitchen. Looks like a powerful machine. You don't need anything fancy like this. You can use one of those immersers, I think they call them, electric blade, or you can just pound it away, however you want to do it. This is very old-fashioned dish. It's Victorian dish. I don't know why people don't eat it, but it's also a very British dish. So I've just put the beef, I've scooped the beef out. You can see there's still some juice. I don't know how well can you see, Chris?
We can see.
In there, and I'm going to just put, a couple of spoons. I'm not going to put it all in, but I'm going to put a couple of spoons of that in there. I also have 4 ounces of melted butter, just plain melted butter, and I like to use a really good Irish butter. because we're not cooking this butter. It's going to just sort of go in there and just melt in there. So, okay, so there's 4 ounces. I want to put about 2 ounces in here. And I'm going to keep 2 ounces. What am I going to keep 2 ounces for? I'll just show you in a minute. So let's just put that in there. Lovely, that's about right. And we're going to be a little bit noisy, I'm afraid. Okie dokie. So here we go. Let's blast it for a little bit. I don't know, how noisy is that, Chris? Can you still hear me over this?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so I'm just sort of, in England you might use, let's turn that off. In England you might use a liquidizer or something. And I don't know how well you can see, but let's scoop this around here. But we're already getting here a nice sort of paste thing. Now, this is like a beef pate. You might say it's a poor man's pate. It's very inexpensive. I don't know if you can see that now. So all the meat is sort of, we've made it to a paste. So there's butter, there's beef, there's mace and cloves and allspice in there. Shall we kick it up a notch, as Emerald Lagasse would say? Let's kick it up a notch. Okay, how are we going to kick it up a notch? I hear you ask me. Well, how about some cream? You can use heavy cream, you can use light cream, you can use whatever kind of cream you want. I'm going to roughly put about 2 to 3 fluid ounces in here. I'm eyeballing it, and here we go. Yes, isn't this fun? Okay, so remember we've got the juices from here. So we're not looking to put any more salts or spices in here because it's already been cooked. The meat is totally infused with all of that deliciousness. So let's have a go. Let's see. Oh yes, yes. So, all right, so while it's doing its work, now what I like to do with potted beef is, because I like it lighter rather than darker and smoother rather than chunky, you can have it any way you like it, but because I like it sort of nice and smooth and that nice light creamy look to it. Can you hear me okay, Chris?
We can.
That determines whether I put more cream in or less cream in. Oh my golly gosh, look at this, everybody. Oh, can you see it, Chris?
Yes, it looks very creamy.
It's sort of spready and creamy. Of course, I have to do the taste test here, don't I? Okay. Well, I'm going to put a little bit more salt in here. And this is the thing, everybody. Always put less in than more in the beginning, because you can always. There we go. Maybe I'll put a bit of pepper in here. Why not? Fresh ground pepper. I'm going to put a tad more cream in because I love cream. So there we go. And then, I'm going to mix it all up again together. And let's see, let me just make sure it doesn't. I want to get it as nice and creamy and smooth. And the lighter it is, the lighter it looks, the creamier it becomes. And it really is like a delicious pate. But for those of you who don't like liver and who turn your noses up at liver pate, which I can't understand at all because I love it. So for those of you who don't like that, this is the perfect thing for you to do. And it's simple, quick, and easy. Now, again, as I've said, if you don't have one of these amazing machines, can always, I guess, if you've got mussels, you can mash it with a fork. I guess you can, use an immerser or a liquidizer, or you just find whatever it is that you want to use. Now, this makes quite a bit of pate. What I do, you can see these little tubs here. Can you see those, Chris? They're sort of like plastic, and there are 4 of them, because this mixture here will literally fill 4 of these and a little bit left over. I'm not going to waste time filling them all, but I am going to show you what we're going to do with that extra butter. So I'm going to just make one of these, or show you what we're going to do with one of these. Can you see how creamy it is, how it's coming out? I'm going to fill this tub. I cannot stress how really, really, really easy it is to make this, and I promise you, you're going to love it. There we go. You know, when I was a kid, every single butcher shop had this stuff. You could go in and ask for a £1/4 pot of beef. So here we go. Now, I don't know if you've noticed what I'm doing. I'm smoothing the top, but I'm not filling it absolutely to the top. I'm leaving a little space. In Victorian times, remember, they didn't have refrigerators. They only had cellars where they could keep things warm. How on earth did they keep cheeses and things like that? How did they keep them from sort of going off? Well, a lot of people use wax for things. They wax their cheeses. They would, wrap their beef or their whatever it was in wax or lard, melted lard, or in this case we're going to use butter. We don't need a lot on it, but in Victorian times this is what they used to do to seal the meat and to make sure there was no air in there. And there's enough there for me to do 3 more of these. There we go. Make sure it's covered. Of course, we just stick ours in the refrigerator, don't we? We don't need to worry about that anymore. Let's put that over there. So here it is. I don't know how well you can see it. I can't tip it, otherwise the butter will tip out. I'm going to put the lid on it, and normally I would sort of leave it for the butter to set in the fridge, and then I would put them in the freezer. These can freeze up to 6 months in your freezer. Not that they'll last for 6 months, because once you take a taste of this stuff, you won't want to miss it. So let's see. For the sake of us today, darling, I don't have room. Let's take that out then. For the sake of the potted beef today, I'm putting it in the freezer, and then hopefully when we've made everything else, we shall bring it out. Would you remind me, Chris, to bring out the potted beef at the end?
I will.
So we can actually see exactly what it looks like. All right then. Okay, are you ready for the next dish? We are busy today. We are making all sorts of dishes today. Right. So I'm going to put this to one side. I've lost the lid. There it is. I'm going to put that. And the rest of the juice that you've got left over there, let me tell you that, you can make a delicious gravy for something really good. So I'm going to just lift this and move it over there out of our way. Great. See how quick and easy that was, Chris? Now, have we got any comments yet, or any questions yet?
I think everyone's just drooling, so no comments yet. We're waiting to see what comes up next.
All right then. Potato salad, everybody. It's a holiday. we want potato salad, don't we? We want it with our ribs, so on and so forth. In here you can see I'm all prepared. In here you can see, I'm going to throw that away. I've actually used gold potatoes. They've got a sort of a light goldish skin, and they are, I don't know if you can see them, they're sort of like a creamy gold. I don't know if you can see the size of the chunks there. So I boiled the potatoes in little salt water. I let them go cold, then I chop them, and they've been in the refrigerator. So we'll put those to one side for a second here. Oh, what have I got here? Yes, see how busy I've been over the last couple of days. Fresh grated carrot also. All right, there's that. Now then, let me see. I'm going to use this big bowl for now because I want to mix stuff up. Now, look, you know how I am. You know that I eyeball things. So you got to just bear with me. When we talk measurements, and especially for things like mayo and salad and so on, some of you like more mayo in your stuff, and some of you like less mayo in your stuff. So I'm going to give you a little bit of advice once again. Less is better. You can always add more. Now, because we've got quite a few potatoes here, I'm going to put a really good dollop of mayo in there. Oh, I like more mayo rather than less mayo. All right, let's see if that works. Okay, now, my all-time favorite masala curry powder. You'll probably need, I'm going to say, maybe 2 teaspoons. And if you like it a little bit more, put in a little bit more. If you don't like it, if it's too much for you, then put in a little bit less. Just put a bit more in because I like it. Some people out there, I know you're thinking, that's not 2 teaspoons, that's more like 3 teaspoons. You're probably right, but that's how I like it. That, and I want to eat it. So it's not like I'm making it for somebody else. Well, I am actually making it for somebody else, but it's not like I'm not going to eat this. I'm going to make absolutely certain. You see how I use these spatulas willy-nilly, don't you? I've got so many of them because I like having them handy. Now then, so there is your mayonnaise and your curry powder. Please always make sure that you put in the curry powder before you put in your potatoes and your carrots, because, you know, otherwise, well, it's not going to mix thoroughly. So now, let me see. Let's throw a few of these potatoes in. I'm not using them all, you can see, but I want to make sure that these potatoes, can you see that, Chris?
Yes, we can.
Beautifully coated, and in go the rest.
It's not fair. You're so far away from me.
Well, you know, you can always come to Florida. Now, so actually, the amount of mayo I put in is really quite perfect, but I'm going to absolutely make sure as I'm stirring that the potatoes are well coated. Now in go the carrot. There are, what did I use? I used 4 carrots in this, grated 4 carrots. Again, it's your choice. You know, this is what I love about cooking. Experiment. Enjoy yourselves. I'm going to put a bit more. I'm not going to use all of them, I don't think. But look how nicely colourful it is, right? Put that there. Alrighty. Have we finished though? No, we absolutely have not. If you were in my kitchen, what you'd be smelling now is you'd be smelling mint. You'd be some fresh mint. I picked it this morning out of my garden. Love saying that. Let's do this. So, nice chopping board. And I've got, this is fresh mint. Can you see it, Chris? You have to let me know.
Yes, I can see everything.
Okay, so I'm tipping that there. Now, The thing about any kind of herbs that we have, you can tear them, or you can, I'm going to just gently chop these, roughly should I say, not gently. Nothing gentle about chopping, but I don't want them in little tiny pieces. I sort of want to be able to see the leaves when they're going into the potato salad. But if you, oh, the smell. You know, they don't smell as great, mint, any herbs, until you start to chop or until you start to crush or tear. Because that, what happens when you, come on, that's a bit big, let's tear that. Maybe I need my knife sharpening. So you can see they're fairly big pieces here, but that's how I like it. And I'm going to throw a handful in there. My gosh, the smell is delicious, fantastic, amazing. Let's stir that in, shall we? Can you see? It's
very colorful.
Very good. Good. Really good. So now this stuff, I always think it's better the next day because everything has a chance to infuse. I'm going to throw all those in as well. I've got so much mint in my garden. And here's a hint for all of you Britishers out there who say, I love mint, but I hate growing it because it goes like a weed all the way through the garden. Now find a nice big pot, plastic pot. Fill it with some nice compost. Put your mint in it. And then dig a hole in your garden, in your borders. And put it in with about, what, a half an inch or so above the ground. The mint will stay in the pot. You will not have it growing, taking over the rest of your garden. Now, just, let's see, to finish off. Yes, we're finishing off here. How are we doing, Chris? I feel as if I'm on some kind of a road show. Chives. I've washed them. I'm going to just, again, roughly chop them. You can see. Not making little teeny bits. I'm sort of, you know, I want to see them in the salad. And I want to be able to taste them in the salad as well. So, definitely need to get my knife sharpened. Let's see what that looks like. And I've just sort of taken a handful of them. So, I love chives. I never put onion in my potato salad. I know a lot of people like it, but I never do it because I find it too harsh and it takes away all the delicious other flavours that you have. But you get kind of the same feeling with the chives. You get that nice sort of slight, I can't even say it's an oniony taste. I'm going to put them all in. Why not? Why not put them all in? Okay, so let's see. So here we go again. They sort of really do give a very mild and delicious flavour. I love chives. They're one of my favourites. And I'm going to throw those in. Now we've got this sort of slightly creamy potato. When you get your potatoes, just remember, you need to cook potatoes for a potato salad. You can't use those potatoes that go mushy and go down. So you need to make sure that you are getting a potato that stays solid when it's boiled. And ta-da! Do I have everything? I'm checking my counters, making sure that everything I've got, oh my God, that does look good. And just because I love you all, I'm going to show you now. It's a good thing I've got a dishwasher, don't you think? My goodness me. Let's see. Just going to show you. I'm not going to put it all in unless of course I do famous last words. But can you imagine this? Now, if you wanted to, although why would you want to? But I know that some people put, you know, you can put a handful of frozen peas in there if you want to, but why would you? Because there we are. Look at that, Chris. Does that look good?
That really looks delicious. You're getting a lot of comments. Anne wants to know, how much curry do you use?
You can use as much as you like. I'm going to say, I think in the recipe book it says 2 teaspoons. I like a bit more than that. Some people don't like as much. Can you see, Chris?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
beautiful.
So I'm going to show you all of these things as we're doing them. Okay. Moving on.
What's coming next?
Pardon?
What is coming next?
Let me get rid of this stuff for a minute.
I'll give you a couple of comments, Rosemary, while you're cleaning up. I'll give you a couple of comments while you're cleaning up. Junior saying, I love chives and dill. Yummy. Wendy says, it's an unusual potato salad, but I'm sure it's incredible. We made the grouper last night and it was outstanding. I made the chili sauce to go with it, but we forgot to use it. Thanks for showing us your amazing recipes.
Oh, Wendy, I know. I'm glad the grouper was good. I hope you were worried. I know that you would overcook it. Right, bean salad. We have to keep moving. Okay, in this bowl, there are, let me see if I can remember, 2 ounces of really good olive oil. Make sure it's the good olive oil because you're going to eat this. You're not cooking with it. You're going to eat it. It has to be a nice flavor. So here is the olive oil that I use. We've got, do you remember last week we made margaritas? Real lime juice. You can get it in most supermarkets. So we've got 2 ounces of olive oil. We've got 3 ounces of lime juice. That's fluid ounces, everybody. Liquid ounces. And in there as well are 2 nice sized cloves of garlic, just roughly chopped. I've left them here for several hours in this because I wanted the lime juice and the olive oil. I wanted to infuse them with that nice garlic flavor. Not too heavy, I hope. So here we go. Now, because the olive oil will sit on top of it is separate from the lime juice, make sure you give it a really good whisk. It occurs to me, I don't have my little rubber mat, but now I do keep bobbing up and down now, don't I? So I put that because I don't want it to slip as I'm whisking. When you've done this and it's all in there and everything's good, just please make sure every time you take it, you put it in the fridge, let it chill. Every time you go to serve it, make sure that you turn it first so all of this juice goes into the beans. So I'm going to whisk that in 1 second. Now, let's see. I have in here, I have in my magic pot, I have, let me see if I can get this right. I've got red kidney beans. What have I got here? Black beans, and I've got, they call them Great Northern beans, small white beans. They're all in there, along with about 2 handfuls of sweet corn. So, you know, they're all sort of, I rinse them all off, rinse them under the cold tap, put them in a colander, and I rinse them off, let them dry. This is the beans, and then added the sweet corn, and I use frozen sweet corn. You can use canned sweet corn, it doesn't matter. And this is the result. How well can you see that, Chris?
Oh, it's so colorful, Rosemary.
Can you see the color of this? Okay,
Yeah,
so
we've
now,
got a question for you though.
Okay, go ahead.
Carol wants to know about the difference between dry and liquid ounces. What's the difference?
A huge difference. Massive difference. When you're measuring fluid ounces, you're using a jug with fluid ounces in it. You're not putting it on a scale. and measuring it. It won't work. So liquid ounces, you know, let me see if I can help you out. Here we are. A jug with measurements all the way around it. These measurements are for many things, but some of them are for fluid ounces. And you just measure with a jug like this. You don't put them on the scales and weigh them that way. My friend in Canada did that. All I can tell you is the results weren't good. Now, let's see. Come on, let's get on with this. Right, I'm going to really, really give this a good whisking with my trusty whisk. And this whisk, I have to tell you, works so well and so fast. That's actually all you need with it. So now, let's see, put that away. Now I'm just going to add the beans and the sweet corn. And as I add the beans and the sweet corn, we're going to be stirring. So it's 3 cans. Let me just see if I can see how many ounces there are in a can. Let's see, 15 ounce cans. So there are 3 of those. And I'm going to throw all of this in here. This is such a brilliantly, let's not leave that little bit of sweet corn out, shall we? Such colour you're going to have on your table. And again, you can make these things, you know, 3 or 4 days if you want to before. And then if it's just 2 of you, you'll be eating it for 2 or 3 days, which works for me. So see, I'm mixing it all together. Now there's 1 more ingredient to go in there. See how simple and easy it is. All I did was open a can, 3 cans actually, rinse them off. You must let them drain. You don't want water in there. And here is my very, very favourite herb, everybody. I love this. Do you think it looks like parsley? Yes, it does. And it's hard to tell when you're in the supermarket or when you're growing them. It's hard to tell the difference between parsley and, yes, you've got it, cilantro. But when you put your nose in it or when you rub the leaves, you will absolutely know the difference. It has the best smell. If you don't like cilantro, then use parsley or some other thing that's your favorite. Again, I'm using cilantro because it's my favorite. You might notice that I am chopping this a little bit more finely, still sort of roughly, still sort of a nice size, but a little, oh gosh, the smell. I love cilantro. It really is one of my favorite all-time things to make. I'm going to throw all of this in because why not? So you've got the colourful beans, the red, the black, the white. You've got the yellow sweet corn. You've got the red. Did I say red, black, white? And then you've got the sweet corn. And now look what you've got. Look at this. This is amazing. And you know, these dishes that I've created is sort of trial and error, really. Somebody gives you a dish for beans and you think, I don't know about that. Maybe I could do a bit better, or maybe I could do it to my taste. And that's what it's all about. So please don't be afraid, people, to try, to experiment. But do be careful if you're adding salts and spices. You might, if you wanted to, put some hot sauce or some Tabasco sauce in there. But if you did, you would add it to the lime juice and oil before you whisk it. Now let's...
What about if you added garlic, Rosemary? At what stage would you add the garlic?
There is garlic in here. The garlic is added to the oil. And are you not paying attention, Chris? The garlic is added to the, so it's lime juice, 3 ounces of lime juice, 2 ounces of olive oil, and I'm going to put it on a serving dish. But if you keep this in the refrigerator, you'd probably keep it in a bowl. And just remember, every time you go into it, my darlings, to just absolutely make sure that you sort of do bottom to top, bring it up and turn it down, because obviously, you know, sort of it's going to, the juices are going to sink to the bottom. And there you have it. Now, I should have tasted this, of course. I'm sure some of you noticed, but this is a dish that I make all the time. I know what works. Chris. Ta-da! Ta-da-da-da.
Very gorgeous.
Time for another one, I think we do. Let's do another dish. My golly. Would you all like another dish?
Do you want some comments?
Yes. Pardon?
Would you like some comments?
Oh, knock yourself out, Chris.
We've got 2 thumbs up for cilantro. We've got another, I think people either love or hate cilantro. I want to love it, but I find it extremely overpowering. I can do coriander though.
Yeah. But you know, if you don't like the cilantro, sort of another name for it is cilantro. If you don't, what did I say? No. Anyway, whatever it is. If you don't like it, just use parsley. I'm just giving these a bit of a squeeze around. Let's see. All right.
And Rosemary, Rhonda's saying, I love potato salad in just about any form. Have you ever tried pascagoula potato salad?
Have I ever tried what?
Pascagoula potato salad.
Send me the recipe. I'm all for it. Potatoes in any form. Now, all right, we are trying to get through these dishes. This dish is a chicken salad. Remember, it's Memorial Day or it's Bank Holiday Monday. You do not want to cook on this day. But this little baby here is totally for me, all for me. You notice I'm putting mayo in, and again, this is a staple in my house. Whenever you come to my house, you'll probably find this chicken salad because I just love it. And once again, because I love it, curry powder, of course, there's not nearly as much, so I'm only going to put perhaps I don't know, 2 teaspoons in here. I'm eyeballing, people. I'm eyeballing. There we go. So there we are. And, you know, you want the mayo to look nice and yellow. And, of course, taste it. If there's not enough curry in for you, add more. I'm going to put about 2 ounces of raisins. You can use golden raisins. You can use any kind of raisins. You can even use any kind of sort of, let's see, what else? Raisins, sultanas. For those of you who don't know what the sultana is, I guess the closest you'll come to it is a golden raisin. I'm going to put a few more of these in. And again, you can see I'm eyeballing. You can see this, can't you? I'm just eyeballing it. Why not? Why not? There we go. So there's roughly 2 ounces. And you notice that I'm putting these in first. Because, and this, you can eat it straight away. But what happens is, if you leave it for a little bit, put it in the fridge and leave it for a little bit, what's going to happen is that the mayo is going to soften the fruit. The fruit is going to plump up a little bit and it's going to be much more delicious. So you do need, my advice is be patient with this. And now, let me see, you can add to this parsley. I like to put oregano, or as Americans would say, oregano. I like to put that in here, oregano. It so happens that I went to harvest it and it just wasn't good. So we're doing it without, which is also fine. But it really is nice if you put in like, I don't know, 2 or 3 teaspoons of chopped oregano in there. Or again, if you want parsley, you can put parsley in. Or you can put anything in. Try anything that you like in there. Now, I've got here some, I'm going to take a handful out for you so you can see. I've used chicken breast. I cooked this chicken breast yesterday. And I've chopped it, sort of fairly small. I don't know how small that is. But If you want to use dark meat, or you really prefer dark meat to like meat, knock yourself out. I don't like dark meat. I'm using chicken breasts, and I'm putting half in. There's 8 ounces, I think. There are 8, so we've got 8 ounces of chicken breast, finely chopped, 2 ounces of raisins, and here we go, and I don't know, I eyeballed the mayo, and it might be that I need more mayo. What do we think here? We shall see in a minute. So I'm just going to sort of turn it up slightly. Lovely. I don't know if you can see the raisins in there. Oh, golly, look at that. It does look really good, doesn't it? Right. Oh, right. And that, I suppose I should make it look pretty for you, shouldn't I? I love this stuff. Let me see. That is absolutely delicious. So, I have this on crisp breads. I have it on a bed of lettuce. As I've said, I always have this, or almost always have this, in my freezer. How well can you see it, Chris? Does it look a mess?
No, it looks really good. I can almost taste it.
Honestly, it's the best chicken salad. I hate when people put in celery, because, yeah, you know, if I'm going to have celery, which I actually like, I'm going to have it on the side. If I'm going to have onion, I'm going to have them on the side. I'm very careful what I put in my salads, because I really, really don't like the idea of hard-boiled eggs. When people put hard-boiled eggs in potato salad, I think, what are you doing? You are you're ruining my potato salad. But everybody likes it differently. Let's put that away here. Do we have time for one more?
I think we do.
Oh, let's go. I didn't think I'd make it. So far we've cooked 4 dishes. Well, not cooked, have we really? Right. Now, okie dokie. So, this, I suppose I'll put it on a nicer plate. I'll put it on a nicer plate for all of you. So you want 2 beefsteak tomatoes, or 3, depending on how many people you've got coming. Between each slice of tomato, you can add a slice of mozzarella cheese, however you want to say it. It's really delicious if you put a slice of tomato, slice of mozzarella, slice of smoked salmon, and then repeat. We don't have time for all of that, so I'm going to just show you my standard go-to, which I put on the table when I'm having a party. And I don't know if you can see, but I'm layering one slice over the top of the other. And I also don't know if you can see, but I have taken the core out of the tomato. Yes, you say tomato and I say tomato, and so on. La 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 la, and there we go. So I'm making it look really, really pretty. And let's see, there we go. Oops. It's perfect. And perfect. About that. What's it looking like? Is it looking good? Is it looking good, good, good? Okie dokie. Oh, let's move that around there. So this is the simplest and the easiest dish, and I have to tell you that it is one of those dishes that when people come for dinner or for lunch, I'm always asked, can you tell me how to make a tomato salad? And I think, Chris, you asked me how to make it a few weeks ago, didn't you? So now we want olive oil, and we want a nice balsamic. And I think I'll have a little tiny taste of sherry as we're going through this. Let's move these out of the way. We don't want the curry anymore. We don't want the cream anymore. I hate an untidy countertop when I'm cooking. Right, now, where's my salt? Fresh ground salt, fresh ground pepper. No mayo, no lime juice, none of that. We're done with all of that. And here is what we're going to do. I'm going to take some basil leaves, which I picked this morning and washed this morning, and I'm going to just take them off the stems. I find if you leave them on the stems until you're ready to use them, you know, they stay fresher. And I'm going to brutalize them now. Remember what I said about herbs. If you don't bruise them, you know, sort of squish them or cut them, you won't get the flavour. You've got to bruise them. So what we're going to be doing here is I'm just going to be tearing them. Now, if you have the time and the patience, which we do not have today, you might want to put 2 or 3 basil leaves between each of the layers of tomato. But we're just going to lay this on here. Oh gosh, I cannot begin to tell you how delicious this kitchen smells. I know. How can you have a delicious smell? Well, you can, trust me, because in my kitchen we've got deliciousness going on like you would not believe. So we'll put a few more little pieces on. Why not? Okay. So I like lots of basil, and usually I do tuck it, you know, under the tomatoes. I might just have a little go, tuck that under, you know, sort of just tuck it under and in and around, and, you know, make sure that some of it's hidden, and it sort of creates this unbelievable, sort of like, reminds me of when I go to Italy or to Greece and we have that fabulous bruschetta. That's that sort of, you know, that delicious tomato, chopped tomatoes with basil on some lovely, lovely bread. Olive oil. Again, I'm going to suggest you use good olive oil because you're not cooking it, so you want it to taste good. But hey, if you don't have any or you can't afford it, that's fine. Drizzle gently all over. Can you see that, Chris?
Yes.
Can you see it drizzling? Not too much, everybody. You do not want it swimming. Balsamic vinegar. Let's see. Gently, because this is a wide, golly, am I going to be able to do this? Actually, it occurs to me. Give it a little shake. Just drizzle gently, carefully over. If you gloop it, if you make a mistake and you gloop it, that's okay. Just get your fingers, and then just all you have to do then is just sort of wriggle it about under the tomatoes. You know, let's not worry too much about it. We're not professionals, are we? We're not, you know, we're just, oh my golly gosh. And finally, I like to use sea salt, and I like to use peppercorns. We're going to give it a really, it's the tomatoes, so, you know, don't be afraid to give them a really, you want them, oh, I'm going to eat this. This is my lunch, everybody. Did you know that? And the pepper, if you put it on the tomatoes before you put on the olive oil and the balsamic, if they wash it all off, so you want it evenly all over the place there. Now you can imagine, it looks pretty as it is, but can you imagine it if you've got a slice of mozzarella, slice of smoked salmon, slice of tomato, all the way around? So this is, I use 2 beefsteak tomatoes for this. You can use any kind of tomatoes you like, small or large, but anyway, now, and another drink of sugar. Let's see, what do we have here? We have those tomatoes. Can you see them if I put them there? No, you can't.
No.
I'll just put them in the corner. we have the potato salad. We have the bean salad. We have the chicken salad. Oh my golly, what's left?
In the freezer.
Don't you think I've forgotten? Now, normally I would lay this on a bed of lettuce. Let's see. And I don't know how well it's going to come out. It's not been in for very long, so I put it in the freezer because I wanted it to set. It may not come out as I would like it to come out. So as I've said, normally I would put it in on a bed of lettuce, and it would look really, really pretty. And normally, if you go to the cookbook, you'll see it in the cookbook. Normally, I would actually use 2 of them, because if you're serving them as an appetizer, or if you're serving them sort of, looking nice. So let's dress the plate prettily here. See, everything is about, when you talk about food, we're talking about, what it looks like. If it looks appetizing, then the chances are it will be appetizing. I'm wondering, will it have had time? So I'm taking the lid off. Oh, if I can. Now, I don't know if you can see this. You can put the butter on the top or not. I only do it because it's the old-fashioned way, and that's how they used to do it in Victorian times, and I love that idea. But if you don't want to put it on, or you think there's enough butter in there, but when you cut a piece of this, if you're taking it out of this little container to eat, you get a bit of that butter. Tastes good. Let's see if I can gently, with a knife, ease it around. Well, the butter's breaking up. Never mind. Even if it doesn't come out perfectly, well, it's what it is, isn't it? So I'm going to put that. Oh my God. Oh, yes it did. Yes it did. It's got a little gap there. I can fill that in. Look at this, everybody. I've got to show you in a minute now.
I think you're going to have to snap a picture.
I know. So we've got the tomato. If I put it up here, Chris, can you see it up there?
No.
If I do this, can you?
Yes.
Okay. We've got the balsamic basil tomato salad. We've got the fantastic looking potato salad, if you can see that. So lovely colours to it. We've got, this is going in the fridge for me. That's a regular daily thing for me. The chicken salad. Chicken with sultanas, and if you do have oregano, you want to put about 2 teaspoons in there. The bean salad, look how colourful my table is looking. And and can you see that, Chris?
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Isn't that nice?
Everyone's drooling.
And so we have, in less than an hour, made all of this stuff. We made 5 dishes. You can prepare, you can either buy your chicken breast, you can even buy your potatoes cooked if you want to do it. You can, you can sort of make stuff a day or 2 beforehand, which is what I've done. And then on the day, or even the day before, I have to tell you that this potato salad is so good after a few hours chilled. The same with the bean salad. Of course, the tomato salad, and nobody's having the chicken salad because this is all for me, because this is my staple in the fridge everyday salad, chicken salad. All right. Do you know, Chris, we've done all of this. I feel like I'm amazing. I feel like I'm Superwoman. Do we have any comments or questions from people?
Well, you literally have a banquet right in front of you. What a way to
Oh,
top
yes.
off your 25th anniversary celebration.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mark's
You
saying
know,
it looks, sorry. Mark's
no,
saying it
carry on.
looks scrumptious. Eric's saying yum. Judith's saying my mouth is watering. Um, Carol's asking for the recipes, so I've put that in the chat where they can get your cookbook if they're interested. Plus, we'll put the whole celebratory meal up on your website when we're done.
Yeah. And I think that didn't you put up the ingredients for all of these things? I think I sent you the ingredients the other day, and haven't you got
As
those
you've
up?
been going, they're in the chat room. Yep.
So you can, and just refer back to the video if you can't remember what do I do next and what do I put in next. These dishes are so simple. I'm a great believer that everybody can cook. Everybody. You just have to choose what you're going to cook and try not to do anything too adventurous. This, if you made this, and it's so simple and so easy, even the potted beef is so simple and so easy to make. Once you know how to do it, everything's easy, isn't it? And I think that sort of in the cookbook there are some simple dishes and there are some complicated dishes, and I think try the simple ones first. Dare to try these things. They are so easy. Look how quickly I made that tomato salad. I mean, really. And it's so simple and it's so easy. And if you added mozzarella and if you added sort of the smoked salmon, it makes it such a yummy, yummy dish. And you can doctor them or not. You can put in less curry powder or not. You can just experiment with how you think you want it to taste.
What
Chris.
does your father and your brother think of this meal?
Well, uh, my daddy can't wait for us to tuck in. My brother's giving 2 thumbs up. He had no idea I could cook. I had to taste it, didn't I? I mean, you can't make all of this and not have it staring at you. Just the right amount of garlic. Perfect. You can taste the beans. You can taste the cilantro, but it's not overpowering. I promise you, those of you who don't like it, it really isn't overpowering. So this is my lunch today. Keep going, Chris. Any more questions or comments?
Judith wants to know now who's going to clean up.
Me? Actually, let me explain something to you. I'm not a martyr. So, the potatoes were easy to do. The beans were easy to do. The chicken was in a plastic bag. The tomatoes were wrapped in foil. I mean, you're not sensible. Plus, I've got a dishwasher, so it's no big deal to me at all. I've only got, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4 bowls, 2 jugs, and that's it. I mean, hardly anything, right? It's really and truly, if you could see my kitchen, it's really not a disaster area. It really isn't. And I shall throw things in the dishwasher and I shall be fine. And I'll put them in the dishwasher, let the dishwasher go, and go and sit down and maybe watch a movie or something with this good food. Oh, yes, that sounds like a plan. Chris, anything else going on there?
They're saying, I love the easy, elegant foods. Do you have a preference for type of salt you use?
Yes,
and
I use sea salt. And this happens to be pink sea salt. I've got a friend who collects. Do you remember when we went to Hawaii, Chris?
Yeah.
And they had a collection of all the different kinds of sea salts from all over the world. I'm not that fanatical, but this is sort of nice, chunky pink sea salt. You can buy it anywhere, and I like it fresh ground. So sea salt is the best, I think, for anybody. Yeah. Anything else?
We've got some requests. Do you make your own garlic oil?
I do.
So they want to know the recipe for that.
Okay, well, we'll make notes. We'll see what we can do to oblige you. Yes, Chris?
So that's pretty much. I mean, everybody's, what time is lunch or supper? Mark wants to know. He'll fly out in his broomstick and be there in a jiff.
Mark, come on, help me out here. I can't possibly eat all this food.
And also on the list to come up is a superb European quiche. They're hoping for a recipe for that.
Well, I don't make a European quiche. I make a good old fashioned, I used to, when I worked in a pub years ago, I used to make a lot of the food, and I would always make the quiches. And you can have a variety of different quiches, and I would make probably a standard 3 or 4 different flavors. My favorite and my grandson's favorite quiche is a plain good old simple cheese and onion. But I'm very happy to make it for you. I'm very happy to share that recipe with you. So we can put that down with the garlic oil, can't we, Chris?
Yes, we can. So I had I guess it would be an observation. You had said to brutalize the basil, and that when you chop up or tear off or, in some way do something to the different spices that you've grown, that's
The
when,
herbs that I've grown. I
I'm
don't
sorry,
grow
the
spices.
herbs, yes,
Yes.
that's when the flavor happens.
If
Now,
you go ahead, Chris.
well, the thought I had in mind was when we experience pain or suffering, isn't that when, quote, our spices get the flavor? That's when we grow. That's when we become our most.
You keep saying spices and it's herbs, actually. It's a good observation. We can liken it to. All I can tell you for now is that whenever you take whatever it is, parsley, mint, basil, cilantro, whatever you take, whatever you're cutting off. If you go buy a plant like this, or like a lemon verbena, if you go buy a plant, a leaf that has an aroma to it, if you rub it, you bruise it, and in the bruising of it, the oils break through, and you get that fantastic and delicious aroma, which is why you do need to either tear or chop. I should never have used brutalize, because I don't really brutalize, although I did sort of, but was in a hurry tearing off this basil here. But when you tear or you chop, and I'm always a fan of tearing rather than chopping, but sometimes you just have to if you want it nice and fine. But when you do that with most leafy plants, you bruise the leaf, and the aroma and the oils come out. And when you're cooking, you want to eat it. That is what you want. You want those oils to be infused in those tomatoes. You want this delicious cilantro to infuse with the beans. You want this infusion of flavor. And I'm trying to think, the mint in the potato thingy. What do we put in the potato salad? We put the mint in there. So you want that. You want that phenomenal, not just the aroma of it. When you go to a dish, and this aroma comes up to your nose, it sets off your hunger. And then when you eat it, you want that explosion of flavor on your tongue. So you're not going to get that if you put whole leaves in and you don't do anything with them. How are we doing, Chris?
We're doing great, Rosemary.
Okay. Anything else? Any other questions? Any other comments?
Well, let's wrap up with this one. This is the first time that I visited Rosemary in her kitchen. Was I missing out until now?
Oh, you were? Who's that from?
That's from Carol.
Yes, Carol, you were missing out. Well, if you want to see more of Rosemary in the kitchen, you can go to my YouTube channel and just type in Rosemary Altea in the kitchen. I think somebody stole Rosemary's Kitchen, so that's not me. You'll know me when you see me. So Rosemary Altea's Kitchen, there are lots and lots of different recipes in there already, and you'll find these here. Chris will put them up. You'll find them on the YouTube channel. Don't forget, please, to hashtag Rosemary Altea and like and share. It's really important because we do need to get the word out. Okay, on what tomorrow? Tomorrow's Memorial Day. It's also the last day of May, so it's our last celebration day. We could be popping in and out all day long. We're going to do lots of off-the-cuff stuff. We're hoping, keeping our fingers crossed, we can do lots of off-the-cuff stuff. And it is also Motivational Monday. Well, we're turning it into Memorial Monday. We're going to be talking about my daddy, for one. He's sort of poking me in the shoulder. My brother also was a soldier. And so we're going to be talking about them. Chris, I know that your daddy was a soldier. We're going to be remembering not just the soldiers, but we're going to be remembering the heroes, not just the soldiers, not just the nurses and the doctors. We're going to be perhaps remembering those little acts of kindness that make someone a hero for somebody else that nobody else even notices has happened. So we're going to be talking about those things tomorrow on Tuesday. Yes, even though we're now into June, we will be probably doing an off the cuff. On Thursday, we will be The Spirit World Sees All at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, where you'll get to answer your questions and so on and so forth. And we'll be doing other things, so keep checking with us and go to the website rosemaryaltea.com and so you can check us out there. And on Saturday, of course, we'll be having another story time. Also, don't forget, everybody, if you would like an opportunity to get a message from the spirit world, if you think that just watching how it works is going to be an interesting or a fun or an amazing thing to watch, our webinar on the 26th of June, Greg and I will be giving messages to all of you from the spirit world. For 3 hours, we're going to be connecting with the spirit world, and we're going to be connecting with many of you in our audience. If you want a ticket, tickets are $65. Go now to the website because we are limiting. We're only having a small group of people. So, go to the website, check us out. Hashtag Rosemary Altea, like Rosemary Altea, what's to not like about this? Like and share with everybody you can, because we're trying to share the word, and Chris is working so hard. Doesn't he do an amazing job, everybody? So I would like to say thank you to all of you out there who joined me this morning. I'm going to now just sit down, I think, maybe have something to eat, then I'll clean up afterwards, I think. So please have, thanks for Chris, because she does a phenomenal job. I'd like to say thank you to my spirit guide, Great Eagle, who as always does a phenomenal job, and particular thanks to my brother who's winking at me. I do love you, my darling Terry. Anyway, so there we are. So we have all of this. And don't forget to share your day with your loved ones in the spirit world, even if you can't hear them. Remember, they do hear you. And please, everybody out there, have a very, very blessed rest of the day. And have a very blessed, whether it is a bank holiday Monday. I know everybody in England's at the beach because my friend called me this morning to show me how full the beach was at Cleethorpes. We used to call it Cleggy when I was a kid. Let's go to Cleethorpes on the east coast of England. And if you are doing something nice, or if you're just sitting on your own, look what you can do while you're sitting on your own. Hey, come on, get on with it. Try this stuff. So please, all of you, have a very blessed rest of the day, and have a very blessed Memorial or bank holiday, or just enjoy the rest of the weekend. Thank you for joining me. Bye-bye.